Hey everyone, welcome to Encore, and today I'm going to be doing a look inspired by belly dancers, and it's kind of like a dramatic Arabic eye look. Hey everyone, welcome back. So before we begin, I just wanted to send out a special shout out to my homegirls back home in Northern California, and especially to the dancers of Raven's Fire Belly Dance Group. And I just want to wish you all a great season with your belly dancing, and thank you so much for the inspiration. So this one's for you guys. Okay, so let's start by shaping and filling the eyebrows in an arched fashion using a brow pencil. In this video, I use Velvetone brow pencil from MAC. Next, we're going to need to prime the eye area, and I used Urban Decay Primer Potion. And for our first color, I've chosen rice paper, and using a 217 brush, just apply that all over the lid, from the base of the lash line all the way to the brow bone. Next, for the second color, I've chosen Gold Mine, and I'm going to apply this with a 252 brush. We're going to initially pack this in right into the inner corner of the upper lid, of the main lid, and making sure that it only covers half of the upper lid and that it covers only up to the crease line. Using our 217 blending brush, we're just going to blend and smooth that out. And then just brush or, wipe off any fall-offs or cast-offs if there's any. Next, using fresh water eyeshadow, and again our blending brush 217, we're going to apply fresh water to the remaining half of the main lid. Again, making sure that we only focus on the lid area up to the crease line. Okay, next, Deep Truth eyeshadow is going to be applied right into the end corner as well as the deeper crease line. And I'm using a flat brush, much like a MAC 239. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a pointed design to this color. And another thing to make note of is that we wanted sharp edges on this, but we wanted it blended where it touches another color. Blending by brushing it inwards will give you a better transition between the colors. So just get it up to as much of a point, but don't worry about the point part yet because we're going to clean that up later on. Okay, so that we can get a sharp edge to the bottom part of the Deep Truth, we're just going to use a sponge and then just wipe that off in a straight line. Just like so. And once again, with our blending brush 217, we just want to make sure that the Deep Truth eyeshadow blends well with the Fresh Water and the Gold Mine eyeshadows. But keep the remaining edges nice and sharp. Okay, next for our highlighter, we're going to use Llama, and again a flat brush, much like a 239. We're just going to apply that to the brow bone. Using Black Track Fluid Line and an angled brush 208, we're going to line the upper lash line, but we're only going to line in, or we're just going to line it about halfway in, making sure that it tapers to nothing. Just like that. Then just make sure to straighten and fill and clean as needed. Now for the bottom liner, we're actually going to wing it. So create the wing, just like that. And then just continue lining towards the bottom lash line. We're going to line only about 3/4 of the way in before we reach the inner corner. Now at this point, you can fix and straighten the outer wing and make sure it's a nice, crisp, sharp point. And then for the inner corner, we're also going to wing, but we're going to do kind of like a downward swing, making sure again that that connects to the rest of the eyeliner. Okay, next we're going to apply fresh water and using our 211 pencil, and we're going to add that right under the black track. But we're just going to line it where the natural lash line would be. Just like you see on the screen, from the outer corner of the eye, and then working that inwards towards the inner corner, but just kind of following that black track but not passing the lash line. Using Goldmine eyeshadow and our 211 pencil brush, we're just going to add a little bit more of the Goldmine eyeshadow right into the inner corner by the tear duct. Now this is also going to allow that wing liner to be a part of the whole makeup design. So just apply that and work it around the tear duct. Now this is also going to highlight that area, and it's definitely going to give this eye makeup a little bit more of a pop. Okay, next we're going to add some theatrics to the liner by adding a wisp that's connected to the upper liner but crosses over the lower liner, and it comes to a point. So it's almost just like drawing in false eyelashes to the lower lash line. And about 1/4 inch from that, we're going to draw in a second wisp. Okay, the key is whatever you do to one eye, you do to the other, so just make sure that when you do the other eye that they're pretty symmetrical. Just like so. It doesn't have to be perfect and clean because it's very theatrical. And then we're ready for applying false eyelashes. This is Ardell's 137s, and I'm applying it with Duo surgical adhesive. Now going back to Deep Truth and our 211 pencil, we are now going to fix that end point to our eyeshadow and make sure it's nice and pointed and sharp and crisp. Okay, for the fun part, we're going to use a mesh or a fishnet material. This is actually an onion bag, and I'm going to use Frankly Scarlet blush with a 225 blender brush. And what we're going to do is we're going to place that right over the skin around the eye, and we're going to stencil in the Frankly Scarlet around the eye area in a C formation, kind of like a C pattern. So it's almost just like a crescent moon around the eye. Just like that. Okay, as you can see, it's kind of giving a texture, almost like a fish scale. And then we're going to use that again, but this time we're going to use Beauty Marked eyeshadow and a denser buffer brush. If you guys have a 109, that works as well. If you have a Kabuki brush, that works great too. So we're just going to add this on right on top of the Frankly Scarlet, but not covering all of the red. Okay, so once you remove that, just buff, blend, neat it up a little bit, clean it up really good, and add some glitters for fun. And then that's pretty much it. Again, the more dramatic, the more textured it is, the better it'll read to your audience. Thanks for joining me. Until next time.